We're here with the first boot of season 10, MBRR.
What's up?
What went wrong?
Uh, well, I mean, I guess just overplaying a bit. Thinking I was slick with volunteering to go up was
Hmm.
just seems kind of like the obvious reason. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously, Orange and Nickel are very capable players, so they
Hmm.
uh they flipped what was probably already a consideration on some people's ends, and yeah, I mean, hats off to them, I guess.
So, like, kind of walk us through your decision to volunteer to be a pawn, because like a lot of people aren't really getting it. I can kind of see where you were coming from, but I'm not sure I would have made that decision. But what was kind of going through your head?
Yeah, so Uh, for me, I've always kind of been like never volunteer to go up. It's a stupid move, like all around. But I don't know. When Zach offered, I was just like feeling pretty good about my overall connections in the game. And for me, I at the time I didn't have plans to go super deep with anyone besides Zach, not Zachary. And like from that, I was like, okay, I don't know where my loyalties are necessarily going to lie as these cycles go forward, especially with how the houses are cut off in half right now. So I need to have points with people that may not be sure where my loyalty lies as the game goes along, so that I'm never in their bad graces, I suppose. So with Zachary, I figured allowing him to connect with Orange would speak volumes to him. With Orange, if I kind of let it be known, like, hey, this was gonna be you, but I did it, it would hopefully give me a lot of points with Orange going forward, especially with Orange losing Nickel. So I don't know. I just thought that it would be something that I could kind of attest my loyalty to as the game went further, where I wasn't certain that I was really going to be loyal long term.
All right. Well, were you not like fully aware of how much of a duo Orange and Nickel were?
No, I
Or
was very aware. I just figured that the alliance that was made, I thought it was a little more solid, and I just figured that my connections with Randy and Seth would hopefully keep me around and just make it to where the vote was probably like honestly just like one or two votes to keep Nickel, and then I would be safe. Was how I was
Mhm.
feeling when it first happened, and obviously stuff changed. People's agenda changed, or presented new opportunities, but I felt like I was in a good enough spot to where if I'm not responsible for Nickel going home, then I have Nickel on my good side, and then I have this whole alliance as well, and then just keep a good talking relationship with Randy and Seth. And I thought that that would set me up for a long run, at least in terms of the veterans.
Interesting. So it was a 5-2 vote for you to stay. Who do you think were the two votes that kept you? Or for you
I'm
to go,
gonna
I mean.
assume I'm gonna assume that Abdi and Seth were the ones to keep me, and then I think Zach would have if the votes were there, but he flipped just to be in the majority, and then yeah, everyone else was just kind of voting me out.
That is correct.
Yeah,
So you think Isaac and Alyssa went into it like always gonna evict you?
I think Isaac. Once I pawned myself, I think he realized that this was a really good chance to get me, and I don't think he wanted me in the game because we kind of play similarly, where we kind of try to just be in a good spot with not really a lot of attention on us, just more conversational bonds instead of like really placing our stakes in the game, I guess. I feel like I'm a little more loyal just overall than Isaac usually, but uh, other than that, we're pretty similar players. So, I mean, for him, if you have people that are playing your game, then you have to get them out because, I mean, what value do you bring if other people are doing what you're doing?
All right. So you think this was a good decision on his part?
Um, I mean, I'm biased, so I would say no. But uh, if he felt like I was a threat, I mean, I'm also biased in that regard and will say, I think I'm an okay player despite this. I guess this is a bad time to say that with the 20th place hanging on my name, but I think he didn't want to deal with me later, so he thought, why not try to get rid of him now? And then it also creates a war that he can kind of sit in the middle of, which is why I was hoping my last words would hopefully not let him just sit in the middle.
All right. Well, how do you think your all hate brother will do without you in the house with him?
Abdi's a really good player. He's really persistent in terms of conversation. Uh, as long as as long as it doesn't come down to like him having to stay based on a comp, I think he'll do really well. Hopefully, being alone and not tagged to me, which I think was also another issue, was just the fact that me and Abdi were probably viewed as just as much of a duo as Nickel and Orange. So I don't know. Him being alone should probably help him in terms of ability to connect to other people and his overall appeal.
Right. Well, we started the game kind of separated. We had veterans on one side, newbies on the other side. Do you felt like that was like a help or a hindrance towards your gameplay?
It sucked just because everyone you brought back was a good player. At least the other 9 were. So all the conversations were really enjoyable. So it never really made like a target easy. For other people, they seem to be really sold on like Randy going. And even then, I really enjoyed my conversations with Randy. I was okay with him going just because he wasn't like so far and above everyone else that I was gonna like, I guess, stick my neck out for him at that point. But I guess reasons and decisions like that have kind of been the reason that I'm sitting here right now. So I don't know. But
All right.
back to the twist in your question. Uh, Overall, I'd say it sucked just because it limited the selection pool. Not the twist itself, just like for me.
Interesting. Who do you think on the newbie side you would have been trying to work with?
I really didn't know most of the people. Like I knew Ferg, Arya, Legend, and GT. So I would have tried to talk to them a little bit, but overall, it just kind of would have came down to who I talked to and felt the best connection with.
Are you surprised Arya was the first evictee over there?
I had a little bit of a hunch since Legend seems to have kind of challenged the entire house and then said, "Oh, I don't want Arya to go. Here's her as a pawn." And so I was like, "Oh, well, that's not a good look if the house enemy is saying I don't want this person to go." But I don't know. It'll be interesting to read and see what happened there.
Interesting. Well, how do you foresee this next cycle playing out for the veterans?
Um, Probably like a nickel HOH, and then it'll be bad for the vets, and it'll probably be like Zachary on the block, maybe next to Abdi, I guess. Sadly, just because he was probably like the easiest one to just be like, oh well, you didn't vote to keep me. But I don't know. I trust that Abdi can work his way out of it, so I don't know who the other person will be. Maybe Seth if people are throwing his name under.
Well, let's get your goodbye messages. If you would make your way to the exit interview text channel.
I cannot see it right now.
Oop, ciao. Hold on. What about now?
There we go.
Cute. All right, so you can just kind of react to them as we go along.
All right, sounds good.
This first one is from Winner Zach.
Nice. Yeah, Zach's uh someone that I really was happy to see on the cast. I felt like people wouldn't have expected us to really work together as closely as I'd planned. And it hopefully would have gotten us pretty deep in the game. But yeah, this is a pretty standard goodbye message. I agree with most of what he said. That I think Isaac and Alyssa were kind of on the forefront of the flip.
Right. This next one is from Seth.
Yeah, pretty simple goodbye message, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he enjoyed our conversations because I don't know. I felt like with Seth, I had the least like game talks with, so I was unsure of how he felt about me truly. But the fact that he was willing to stick his neck out week 1 is pretty cool. So that's nice.
This was from Zachary.
I wish him luck. I'm really scared for his future just because he can't even compete in HOH. A lot of people, early cycles, they don't really want to go for HOH. They just kind of want to sit on their hands, avoid any blood. So I could really easily see like Orange or Nickel winning this one, Zachary being the main target. But I wish him luck. He's a good kid. And yeah, I don't know. I'm worried for him. He's got to regain majority.
All right. Well, this next one is from Alyssa.
All right. I don't know. Not much to say. I mean, I felt like I made it kind of clear to the alliance that I was just kind of doing it to help out Zach. So, I mean, yeah, it was obviously dumb, especially in hindsight, but I feel like it's weird to just be like, oh, this wasn't ever going to happen, but then you volunteered for the block. I don't know. It just seems like a lack of just like owning up to her actions.
Interesting. Next up is from Nickel.
Yeah, Nickel was pretty dope. When she became like the most likely to go, it was not really like something that I liked to hear, just because I don't know. We were connecting pretty well, and then like she became the main target because Randy won, and it was just a weird situation from there. Uh, but she's dope. I wish her well in this game. I'm obviously rooting for the people I like really was planning on working closely with, but if circumstances were different in the game, I could have easily like seen some way where me and Nickel had been working together and played well together. She's a good player, and props to her for flipping the vote.
Interesting. Next we have Randy. Hold on, child.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. I was kind of trying to keep myself at a distance with Randy just because, like, it was cool to talk to him, but, like, everyone seemed pretty consensus that he was going, so I didn't want to, like, get too close to him, and then either A, I look weird for just being close to people who get evicted, and then they start worrying about that at jury, or B, um, they start worrying that I'm not loyal to the alliance and I'm going to do something shady. So I don't know. I definitely can't fault Randy for having a lack of trust after I didn't really give him much until he came into power.
Interesting. Next we have Miss Orange.
Yeah, Orange was someone that I really connected with. I think I put them as number 1 in my trust ranking for just the very beginning. And I don't know if that would have stuck there or what, but I really enjoyed my conversations with Orange, and I was hoping that with Nickel going, it would have been a great ally to have. He would have been a great ally to have, but yeah, I don't fault anything that Orange just said. They're completely right. I can't guarantee that I would have been like ride or die with Orange, whereas Nickel most likely, at the very least, like takes them deep into the game. So I mean, I can't blame them really. So good on them for playing a major part of the flip. Shows how capable and talented they are as a player. So hats off to them.
Interesting. Next we have Isaac.
I don't know. I think that's another situation where he's probably has a little bit more involvement than he's taking claim to. Probably just worried about a battle back or something. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I still love Isaac. That's like one of my closest friends on Discord. There's no like bad blood for him betraying me and all that. But yeah, I really think it's just he was a major reason I'm going home, obviously, and I think this is just as a cover up, just in case I'm back. Which I know I'm not. I know there's no battle back, but you know they got to be worried about it.
Interesting. Finally we have Abdi.
Yeah, it was really exciting to see Abdi back on the season, just because I don't know, when you're not in an org with someone, it's like weird to like reach out to them as consistently as you do when you're in an org. And Abdi was one of the more like genuine connections I've had in playing orgs, and it was just always good to like talk to him, whether it was just like talking about game or just like asking him what's up. So getting to play with him again, one of the like best people I've met on Discord, one of my closest friends on Discord. It was cool to like have the daily conversations again. So I wish him the best. I'm worried, but I know he's talented enough to overcome it, so I hope he does.
All right, period. I'll open up the floor for a couple of fan questions if there are some. Um, Someone wants to know, how did you perceive Arya going home?
I perceived it as the newbies kind of just hating on Legend, I guess. Uh, I don't know if it was like a setup and they just wanted Arya gone and they knew that telling Legend that would lead to Arya going, or if they just were like, well, if Legend wants Arya and Legend just told the whole house, like, I'm not intimidated by any of you, then maybe we need to send Arya home or something. But I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I know Arya's a pretty solid org player, so surprised to see her out first on the other side as well.
Interesting. Who do you think is the most dangerous player left?
Uh, well, I think Zach is one of the best players just because, in terms of social, a lot of players are similar. Just like you gotta be able to just hold a conversation to have like a decent social game enough to survive. Like there's genuine connections and all that, but like as long as you don't suck at conversation, you have a chance in orgs. And to add on top of that, Zach is really good at competitions. So I think combining that gives him a really good spot. I don't think he's in a bad spot right now. Maybe he's in the minority, but I don't think he's going to necessarily be anyone's main target for a while. And he's definitely got the talent to end up getting there. I think Nickel's going to be in a good spot now too. And if I'm remembering season 9 correctly, I think she was really good at competitions as well. And I'm fairly certain that her or Orange have been collecting these infirmary like shits, every single one except for like a few maybe.
Interesting.
Can you confirm that
Um,
to me? Like who's been is it Nickel?
I will say that neither of them are in the lead for it.
Really? Wow. Maybe like Zach or Isaac, I guess.
Interesting. Um,
Maybe
Someone has a,
Randy. Who knows? What's up? What?
yeah.
Sorry.
The next question is, what was your overall approach to the season? So they basically want to know, like, because you kind of got into immediately from the start, you had kind of that big alliance of the BBD
Yeah.
VC girlies. So were you just planning to ride that out, like in season 6, or where did you
Um,
plan to be a bit more fluid than that?
I felt like I don't know. A lot of times in orgs, whenever people start planning on turning on you, they give you like a lot of social cues a few cycles in advance. So for me, I was like, okay, I use this pawn thing, whatever. Hopefully, I'm safe. And then from there, I thought I'd be really good for a while. Like no one would have bad blood with me, and I'd be able to sneak by. And then from that moment, I would be able to kind of just pick up who's close with who's connected where, and hopefully in that duration, kind of stay in people's good graces. And then once it gets to like final 9, people that's when they start targeting people for being threats. But it's like final 11 when they start really letting you know how they feel about you as a player and if they think you're someone that they can beat at the end or not. And so I don't know. I'd probably just start taking it week by week, as boring as that sounds, but just turning on who I needed to turn on. I definitely wasn't loyal to anything besides like I definitely wanted to go deep with Abdi, but I didn't plan on going to the end because I figured that there was no chance. And I wanted to go final 3 with Zachary. Or not Zachary, Zach, sorry. But other than that, I didn't really have a lot of plans other than just trying to just socialize with people and be in most of the majority alliances that took shape, but not be at the head of any of them.
Interesting. Um, Someone is really insistent I ask this question, so apologies, but can you hit yourself in the head for them for volunteering as a pawn in a house with 10 people?
Yeah. Are they wanting it like live on VC? Because I'm not about to pull like a coup or anything, but like I can like do it later in private or something.
I guess you can contact them
All
later
right.
regarding it.
Sounds good.
Anywho, another person wants to know why do you think the twist of no final for Vito was announced so early?
I think it was something that was just kind of a discussion piece, I guess, just to let people start game planning right away to figure out what they wanted to do, how they wanted to reach the end, and who they wanted to reach the end with. I guess a lot of that didn't impact the early part, but they probably just did that to have full transparency so it didn't come off as rigged or anything if someone was bitter later on.
Interesting. I think that's all the questions the specs have for now. So, any final words?
Um, Not really. I guess just final words in terms of since this is BBD's last season, thank you, Samantha and DR for all the work you guys did for uh 9 great seasons and hopefully a 10th great
Ciao.
season. Um I'm sure a lot of people appreciate everything you guys have done, whether they express it or not. And yes, it's definitely sad that it's going to be coming to an end.
Let me lock the door.
I can't be nice.
I didn't see my name included in that, but moving
I
on.
said you. I said you, Samantha, and DR.
Well, that part got cut off.
Oh,
Moving on. Anywho, thank you for playing. It's unfortunate how early you left, but you had an iconic exit. So
yeah. Little, I don't know, just nice little lesson for me to never volunteer to go on the block again.